Hello everybody, how are you today? Bonjour, bonjour, bienvenue tout le monde. I almost did something bad, wait a sec, almost changed the layout of OBS. Alright, so welcome welcome for another crazy week that we're starting. Basically this week, not really different from last week, however, it should go pretty straightforward this week. We are trying to complete the steering column and basically the direction setup on the Datsun, which is a really huge puzzle. Anyone who was there last week, you will have guessed it, but basically my brain was frying a little bit last Thursday. And yeah, but we are pretty much up to a point where we have all the pieces we need in our hands. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty awesome. Basically, we went from something that was about long like this to this piece here and this one here, which will help us keep basically the bearing system from the Datsun column, steering column. So this is pretty cool, honestly. It's going pretty well. There's always a little bit of stress where basically I'm looking at this and I'm like, is there any freaking way that could backfire at me and break on a racetrack when I'm going fast and there's a corner incoming in front of me, and because that will be like the worst scenario possible. So I'm really keeping that in mind on everything I'm doing right now. So this is honestly mentally hard. Like, it is consuming quite a lot of energy just to keep everything in mind and try to see the big picture at the end of that. But for now, honestly, everything seems pretty good. I'm not too worried about anything. There's a few things, and I just realized that I could take a look here. Yep, maybe something like this or even a little smaller, but that will be cool. I'm even thinking on a way to maybe block the assembly, just making sure that everything is fitting fine in place and that there's no big deal with fitting everything together. So that's gonna be a thing. But yeah, basically we're up there, we have all the parts in our hand, and today we will try to just maybe aiming at tack welding pretty much everything together and test fit it inside the car. I'm not sure that's going to happen. It's not really 9:30 like I'm usually starting the day, but like it's more 13:25. So yeah, so basically it's gonna be like a longer afternoon stream, but like a smaller day. But yeah, so basically let's start it. Let's just dive straight into it and let's try to make it work. So first of all, today what we're gonna do is try to re-drill this little piece here that we took from the old steering column, just so basically we can use that as an alignment tool on top here to make sure the rod we're gonna put in there like so. So basically, yeah. Whoops, I'm trying to fit it in there, but it's not fitting yet. But when we're gonna put that, we don't want that wobble here, because we want to try and fix that straight in there. So the straighter the better. For that, I'm talking, okay? And yeah, so basically we're gonna go with that and just move forward and try to fix that together. If this is working, we're gonna just tack weld this. Then we're gonna mount the little plate in the firewall, and so we should be able to just basically like that. This is on the inner side, this is the outer side. We're gonna try to just push through it for test fitting our setup. So yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. So let's move to the workbench and we're gonna be basically trying to re-drill that with this little tool here. So we should have to go 1 or 2 steps in there and that should do the trick. So let's try that. Oh, I'm gonna take a look, in fact, if the other one that I have will not make the job too, because B, and that will be awesome because that one, I think they're just going to be a little too big or too small. Yeah, there's not going to be the appropriate one, right? Yeah, basically it's the same thing. Okay, so they are not going to work. So let's go. We're gonna move on this side. So let me turn that pretty wide. Okay, let's go. Thank you, Cam. Dual side. Dual side. Hey, let's go. Gonna turn on the light in here. We're gonna be moving right there. So we use the vice grip quite a lot in the last week or two, and it's still going to be the case for the next few days. I think I'm gonna try to grip that in here and we'll apply pressure, but I don't want to crush it. So this is the hard part. Like, hopefully it's gonna keep it tight enough, but we're not going to crush it and it's not going to start spinning freely. So if that happens, well, we're gonna have to find a solution, but yeah, let's go with that. Just go smooth. I'm gonna put the filter, so loud noise. Voice. All right, we're just going to test fit the first pass we did, because basically on the other side I feel like I'm gonna be missing some material in there to make it fit. So let's just try to slip that on top. And yep, the first one is good, but the second one is too big a little bit, so it might be hard to fit that through there. So basically what I'm gonna do, I wonder if I could smash that on top. I'm gonna try to just drill it a little bit more, but yeah, it's basically like I will need that second last step to be really longer than it is. So we're gonna see how it turns out. As long as at some point it's holding the rod in place, that will work, to be fair. So as you can see, it's gripping the thing quite hard. So we're gonna have to make sure we have enough grip in there. And enough lube. So we're sliding a little bit. Right, the way it's sliding to the side isn't ideal, I will say. So let's try maybe to push it through there. Who's that NPV? What up, man? How was the weekend? Good afternoon, good evening for you.
Oh, no.
It's Hawk. Let's go. Hello, both of you. How are you? Front cam. All right. So it's cold. Yeah, same here. It wasn't too bad during the weekend, so we had the possibility to work outside quite a lot. But today, whew, not the greatest. All right, I'm gonna try to smash that on top, to be fair. How was the weekend for you, Hawk? Yeah, no, in here today it's quite cold. I had pretty much, I will say, like a party every night during the weekend, so that was pretty rough too. I'm not young anymore, you know, so. All right, so this is going pretty well, to be fair. I'm gonna try to work on it on the workbench too, but that could be the solution right there. So let's try that. Dual side. No, I'm not early from lunch. Well, yes, but no at the same time. I just didn't stream this morning because I had too much stuff on my plate to prepare. Basically, right now, okay, let's go straight into that front cam. So, hello, I didn't sleep in, okay? I woke up at the same time as every freaking morning for the stream, and basically I prepared my class for the entire week. I had a lot to do on that, and I also started prepare some stuff for Extra Life that is in 3 weeks from now, I think, and like November 4th you're gonna see some Nightbot message eventually talking about it. And yeah, so basically started to put the website together, started to put the incentive in place, did a bit of social media thing to try to promote that, committed, sell it to me, and basically committed to the crazy challenge I set it for this year. And I don't know, part of me really wants to reach the goal, of course, and part of me is like, holy crap, what have I done? So basically I'm gonna be if we reach the goal, I'm gonna be putting my name into like a stand-up comedy show that we have here in Quebec, where basically two comedy guy are judging some pretty much no name out there that just want to go there on the stage and try to do to make people laugh. And so you have to do a 3-minute stand-up, and if you're really not good, they call it the gong show because they have a big ass gong that they are just smashing. Yeah, exactly, so that's why you know, it's gonna be cringe. But yeah, so basically they have a big gong where they are just smashing it to tell you you just failed, and after that they start roasting you. So if we reach the $7,500 goal for Extra Life, I'm gonna be putting my name in there and trying to go on stage for them. And yeah, that's gonna be on YouTube, and that's gonna be cringe. Let's go. All right, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I did a lot of job on that this morning and had a bunch of things to do. So that's why, not a lazy ass. No one's gonna call me a lazy ass out here. All right, so yeah, but since I was done, I just ate my lunch and basically went straight into the garage and started the stream. So therefore, longer stream this afternoon compared to usual, at least for a Monday afternoon. So yeah. So that is an hour worth of work. What did you do for the rest, Tarkov, of course? I mean, what up? So, oh yeah, I did also a bunch of calls because we're gonna have the, how would you say that? I just have like, I don't know the word in freaking English, but basically like a night just like the Grammy Awards or stuff like that, but for the racing club I'm in. And you're gonna help me roast into here. Nah, she won't a teammate this week. But yeah, so I also did all the calls for the sponsors who are going to give us some awesome price, because since I'm vice president of, like, I'm a VP of the racing club, well, you know what, no choice to make some work out there. So yeah, I did some work. Fuck you, NPV, love you. All right, let's go, let's commit to that. Dual side, there you go. So we're gonna try to smash that in place pretty much. It's working so far. There you go. So if we can push that further down, that's gonna be perfect, because this way that means we're gonna have that sliding right into place, and I'm gonna use the actual part so it's gonna sit right there. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Wow. Yep, Micah's gonna be. Oh, wait. I need to screenshot that. Hop, hop, hopla. Oh, that was a bad. All right. That's basically some love declaration from NPV towards Micah. All right, sending that to the boy itself. I mean, hey, I have to take time for that. Come on. Since he's saying I'm a lazy ass, might as well be, and screenshot that. There you go. He loves you quite a lot, I'm pretty sure. That's what I just wrote, Micah. There you go, guys. Boom, NPV, get fucked. All right, easy peasy. The roaster getting roast. Tonight, as simple as this, I'm gonna be on after my class tonight, that's for sure. I just want to play that crazy game, so let's say that. If you're okay with that. Oh, hell yeah. A lot of people to kill. I've been doing quite a few scavenging today in between stuff, but no PMC so far, so I'm gonna need it. Well, that just worked perfectly. So basically, no more big wobble in there, which means we're gonna be able to weld the entire thing in there, so that's pretty cool. Now this is slipped in right in place, so yeah, there we go. Well, that's our first thing done. So if we're applying pressure, we're getting something that seems pretty straight. Yep, gonna have to tack weld that and test it first, but yeah. All right, now that this is done though, we're gonna have to remove again the upper part here, because we're gonna have to tack weld everything and make sure everything's fitting in place. So let's do this thing. Time-ish, whenever you're ready, I guess. I'm gonna be back and probably ready by my 8:30, which means you're 7:30. Tarky is like a new game where, do you know Candy Crush? Basically the same thing, I think. Basically the same thing. Do you know what time you're gonna be up on your side, Hawk? Just so I can manage my time with that. I love the contrast of Hawk saying sounds perfect and NPV saying sounds crap. Nice, sounds good. Tarkov tonight, cause sleeping is overrated. Pump, pump, pump. All right, so let's go. So this is removed all over again. And there you go. So basically, we're gonna be welding everything in here together, so that's gonna be super important. I would have liked to get maybe a bigger gap here, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, because we're gonna throw this like hell onto that part here. Welder to the maximum and just like welding to max intensity and taking our time to move all the way back here. Plus we're gonna be adding welds in all the holes in here, and probably not on top, because this is sitting against the surface. So yeah, so that's gonna be welded all the way through here, so that's gonna be pretty solid. This one I'm not too worried about it, so that's gonna be cool. All right, so this, let's move that. Are we going to tackle that right away? I feel like it might be the case. Whoops. Because basically once we're gonna have both sides connected together, we're gonna be able to test the entire bearing assembly. So this, and that's going like that. And we're gonna tackle that on the bench. Let's go. Front cam. Yeah, she is. Allowing you to be a fist fence because I like you like that. NPV being NPV. NPV needs love, okay, Hawk? He seems to be missing it. I mean, he's missing Micah, so that's saying a lot, okay? He needs love. Send love words to NPV and he's gonna say fuck you, but you don't care. You ignored that part. Front cam. Are you against chefs also? Damn. Hard. People these days hating everyone for no reason. He's a shit starter. I love that way to say that. Like I haven't heard it that anywhere, and like that's the first time. Yeah, shit starter. Sounds like a great way to put it. Okay, so how are we going to make sure we are doing something that seems straight in here? I feel like just doing that should work. Because that seems pretty good already. Maybe I'm gonna clamp one side, hold it, yep. I think I'm gonna clamp that side. Dual side. Backhanded shit starter, okay, yeah. Fair, quite fair, I love that. Can you realize I almost backstab Micah because of that guy? I wanted to have a mug and he was ready to give me some friendly funds if I was shooting Micah in the back. That's rude. But I didn't. I grinded all the points to get my mug myself with no shame on it. I didn't want a shame mug, I wanted a really good mug, so did it myself like a big boy. Oh no, it hasn't come yet. I don't even know if it's shipped yet. I don't know how long it takes for him to send them. There was probably quite a lot of them during that kill-a-thon, so there you go. Let's send that on E. Little bit less wire for just tacking that. And let's not forget to turn on the gas, because that will suck. We are pretty much ready to tackle that, so hopefully it's gonna be quite straight. But yeah, do you know how long it could take NPD? Like, I'm not really worried about that, just wondering if it's usually like a thing of months or a thing of weeks or years, you know? Who knows? No, no one shall knows. Put together another one, and he never sent one to replace mine. Well, oof, oof. All right, I mean, I just used 25,000 pounds. It's all good, no worries. All right, so that seems pretty straight. Let's try that. And that just stick to the nozzle there. Right. And now let's try that. There we go. Keep the same thing. Okay, bye, spring. I didn't need you anyway, even if that's not true. Come on, I just burned the nozzle basically. Alright, so for now we're gonna test with that. Boink. Let's turn that off because it's noisy. I might just get 2 mugs this evening just for fun. Oh yeah, because you're living quite close to him, right, NPV? So you can just go up there, get the mugs, and just send picture to me and Hawk and say, hey, you know what? Well, fuck you both. That's not really gentle, but hey, that's the man, I guess. All right, let's see how it is. So this is clearly not straight at all. We have a bend in there, so you will probably be able to see it. So we're gonna try to fix that. Just gonna cut the weld on one side, try to keep the other one, then push that back in place. So yeah, I'm just going over here on the workbench. I'm gonna, oh, in fact, I can come back here. I'm gonna do that really quickly. Loud noise. Loud noise.
Right to jail.
Voice. All right. Not that close, probably about 4 hours. Not bad. Was there the OSHA sound? I haven't heard it, but anyway, I don't care because you might say OSHA and I'm just like, yeah, well, I have gloves in my hand. That's not too bad. I'm gonna go on the...
No,
Yeah. That's my favorite, I think, now. Are we going to be able to straighten that up? That's still not super straight, right? It did break the welds, which is good. So basically now, seems like we are in a pretty good shape right there. So let's just do that and clamp that in place. I just think I have to, because now I have a little plane there, so we're gonna make sure we are pushing it down. Maybe like that. Is that too much? Oh, that's pretty good. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Put the welding mask again. I do have gas. Yeah, I do. All right. Grab that. Let's grab the end here. That we don't need. That we can just go like that. Well, here there's too much stuff going on there, so let's do that instead. Boom. Can I just do that, or is it going to fall? No, I think I'm good. There we go. That's hot. That's hot. So is it better? Definitely better. Yep. It seems pretty straight. Not perfect. Can maybe smash that on the bench to try to straighten that up a little bit. Definitely helps though, so not too bad. That will be this way. All right, so yeah, we can use that. So I just need to lock that in place. Because basically now the rod wants to get in and out, so let's just lock it with another bit of tack welding. And then we're gonna be good to go. Or at least try to make it work all together now. Like that, like so. Alright, so let's just make sure we are okay right here. There we go. Let me just try to see if there's an obvious point where it's not straight, but I think we're pretty much good there. Should be good just with that tack weld, in fact, because we just wanted to stay in there without slipping, so that should be the way. This is the way. So if I'm looking at it now, yep, seems pretty good to be fair. So basically now everything's stuck together. Just a few tack welds. So, oh, what's up? It's Blue. Let's go. Hey, how are you? Watch out, NPV is wanting a lot of love and attention this afternoon. Just warning you. Let's go. So many great people in here. Let's go. I love that. Thank you all guys for being here that early. Or in fact, I am a bit earlier than usual, so that's maybe because of that. I appreciate it. Very busy the last week, but glad to be able to catch streams again. Yay! Yeah, I feel you on that, Blue. I've been so freaking busy. Like, yes, the Datsun, but I was telling people, but basically I'm preparing Extra Life, my 5th edition. So basically, in 3 weeks, I'm gonna be doing a 25 hours stream marathon for a fundraising for a Children Miracles Hospital network. So yeah, Children Miracle Network, that's the one. So yeah. Front cam. Fuck you, NPV. But yeah, so basically November 4, guys, save the date. There's gonna be quite a lot of things happening. It's not going to be in the garage, it's gonna be in my gaming setup, but basically we should be around 8 to 10 people streaming at the same time in my house, in my basement. That's gonna be huge. There's gonna be a shitload of faction and people and stuff. Every probably $10 of donation, we're gonna do a bean boozle for the one that are tasting like shit and those are tasting good. So Yep, so there's gonna be a lot of things. Last year we did that, we did the Bin Boozle, we did quite a bunch of stuff, and it was really, really awesome with just 4 people streaming, 5 total that were here, even a little bit more at the night. And this year there's gonna be friends of mine, there's gonna be my brother, so it's gonna be super, super cool. The goal for donation is pretty high, so we'll see. Honestly, this year might be the year we're not reaching it. Let's be honest, people are not the richest at the moment. Like, the economy is a bit shit and everything, so we're gonna see. But also at the same time, there's maybe a bunch of new people, people I've met on the racetrack, people in here, people all over the place that might be there and giving the $20 that will make a difference. Like, who knows at this point. By the way, there's also going to be some stuff with Dexper, where basically, for those who don't know, Dexper is pretty much stream loot that TFG is using. Yeah, and I mean, even if you're broke as fuck and you're just coming for the laugh, for the fun, it's gonna be plenty. Honestly, it's gonna be such a blast. It's gonna be cool. And yeah, so basically, Dixper is the same thing as Streamloot, if you want, but everything is connected directly to the website for donos. So the donation are going by donor drive, so the money is not transitioning by me, it's going straight to the foundation, and that's pretty cool. That's because that's putting like a safety net for people. They are sure the money reaches the foundation. And yeah, so basically there's also gonna be a bunch of $1, $2, $3 thing that are messing with the stream. But the plot twist there is pretty cool. It's that basically I am managing the entire setup, and for that, I mean, I'm paying some money for the setup, tables, internet cables, everything for people to come at my house. So last year we were 5 in there, this year we're gonna be 10, so I need to buy more stuff and everything, and I don't care, I'm doing it. At the same time, the only condition I will say is that we are putting everything we are raising into one account for the Extra Life setup. So everyone is not registering with their own account. We are putting that all on my link. So basically, it's helping me reaching a really big goal. And that's really fun, because if you're paying one screamer at $2, let's say, and the screamer is like a Luigi, no, it's not a Luigi, it's a Yoshi, like taking all the space on your screen and doing a the sound of Yoshi, and basically it's just some cute screamer and stuff, but it's doing it for everyone. So everyone's gonna have the same setup, everyone's gonna be linked to the same link, so it's, if we are 8 people streaming, your $2 is going to affect the 8 streamers at the same time, and that is awesome. Just like all the 8 people get also the notification for the donation and everything. So that's very cool, because basically if someone on my stream is giving $20, everyone will see that at the same time, the $20, and it's gonna be like, thank you this person for the $20, and like we're gonna be 8 people saying thank you at the same time. It's really, really fun. So even if we're not playing the same kind of game, oh, and there's one. With Dixper, there's one that is messing with the spacebar or the WASD button and stuff, and it's not focused for one game. So if some are playing Sea of Thieves and others are playing like something else, I don't know, let's say I'm playing Tarkov and other people are playing Minecraft, well, if you're paying for the spam spacebar, we're probably going to play it, by the way, during the night, because basically it's usually a really good game for when it gets close to midnight and we're getting tired a little bit. Like, it's not too intense, so it's really, really fun to just go on the sea and have fun and have a blast with friends. So big chance we're gonna play it. And yeah, what I was about to say is like, basically if you're paying for let's say the spacebar, well, it doesn't matter the game the others are playing, everybody's gonna get the spacebar as a spam at the same time. There's also one to froze the control, so your keyboard is not responding, so that's gonna be cool. Used to play for hours. For real, damn. Well, you know what? I mean, of course we're gonna be 8, so there's gonna be games we're gonna play all together, like at my place. But at the same time, I'm just telling you, if at some point, and that's probably going to be like really deep in the night for us, like my time, if at some point we just don't know what to do and everything, you might be able to jump in with us. If there's just like two of us who wants to play and there's 2 spots left, you're gonna be able to jump with us. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I'm doing a fundraising, so no one's coming in. Well, it's just us, the special streamer. Nah, fuck that. Everyone's gonna be welcome. I even have a friend that's gonna be in the last 2 weeks before getting his newborn. So basically his girlfriend's pregnant and it's getting close to the term, and yeah, so basically he cannot make it to my place because it's 3 hours away, and it's gonna be in the final 2 weeks, so at any time it could be the moment. So he's gonna be at his place playing with us through a big part of the night to help us go on. So and is there still the thing with the Game Pass being $1? I think they removed that, right? That was crazy. $1 and boom, you have plenty of game to play. There's still. Just wait for it, Blue. Like, wait for it and pay $1 for 1 month and you're gonna have CFTs and a bunch of game at the same time. That's crazy. Yeah, last year we did take the Game Pass. Last year we did take the Game Pass in case of, because we're always planning 20 games and in the end playing 5 of them. But yeah, I was ready to, we paid that. I forgot to unsubscribe for 3 freaking months after that. And at some point I saw something weird on my credit card and I was like, what the hell is that? And it was like a Microsoft store, and I was like, I've never purchased anything on Microsoft store. What's that? And I was like, I blocked it through my credit card. Through my credit card, and I just kept searching about that, and it was like, oh, is it possible that, and I'm just okay, because it's not written Game Pass, it's just Microsoft Store, super generic things. Yeah, exactly, and people like the Prime and stuff like that, I know, but that one, like, Extra Life is such a rush to set up that I think I just forgot, and I felt so freaking dumb. So hey, shit happens, you know. Okay, that's not too hot, let's go. That's pretty dope there. So basically this is going like this. We're gonna have that on top, like so. And so far everything is working. Up. Dual side. So basically here, now that the shaft is all in one piece, I'm just going to test it quickly through here. So we're gonna have to push here. The bottom spring is gonna have to be pushed quite a lot to basically allow us to put back the C-clip in there. So the one we were working on last week, now we're gonna have to basically go like this and push that through there. So let's do that on the workbench. Oh, you just said it. Damn, son. Front cam. I don't know if it's as hard as the one I have in my hands right now, though. Like, honestly, it's gonna be hard to make it as hard. It's Lydial! Let's go, what's up? I just freaking killed it there. That's because of you, Val. You amazing person. Morning, yeah, morning. Dual side. There you go, boom. Gonna put that up a little bit. So basically now we have one bearing there, one bearing on this side. So we're just going to test that like this and make sure we can go through everything and basically push the spring in there. If it's working, we're just going to have to cut a little bit of metal in here. You can see that, yep. Because basically I cannot weld those two together so close to the bearing. I'm gonna just burn it and it's not going to work well after that. So first of all, I just want to make sure that everything is straight enough in there so that I can make sure that we're not gonna run into a problem later on, because if it is jamming right now, that means it's bent a little bit too much. The shaft is not straight. I repeat, the shaft is not straight. Tells you he has been busy. He hasn't. He woke up. Fuck up, NPV. I woke up at freaking 8:30 this morning, you motherfucker. That little bully in my chat. Is he a VIP? He's a VIP. Shouldn't be. Ban NPV. Oh wait, that's my stream. I can do whatever I want. That little motherfucker. All right, let me try to slip that over the shaft. Am I supposed to use protection for that? Nah. Protection is overrated. I'm still talking about the car, by the way.
Right
Okay?
to jail.
All right, so there we go. So now we just need, by just I mean we just have to pray for that C-clip to go up there. I'm not going to be able to do it, right? Let's just do that. Ugh. I think there's more pressure than we were having before, so that's gonna be one higher difficulty out there. Gonna do that, gonna manage to show you a little bit more. Right to jail. There, I'm gonna try to push the C-clip a little bit further down. Like so. Then if I can just... don't think that's gonna make it. Yeah, I need to push on both sides at the same time, right? Yep. I was almost there, right there. Okay, so if I have to push on both sides at the same time, that means I really need to be in here. So that's gonna be, hey, there you go. I can see where we need to end up. I'm missing one hand basically to do the job properly. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Is that a win? Boom. Front cam. Oh, I've been dealing with OSHA at work for months. Don't wish that on my worst enemy. Had to negotiate a 35K fine to a... Oof. Oof. Yeah, here we're just using that to tell me when I'm freaking dumb. Which is pretty much all the time with the grinder, but... There we go. It's getting somewhere right here. Yeah, basically I'm not really using a face shield or using a protection gear at all time when using the grinder, so but yeah, so basically look at this. This is the idea right there. So we basically have a little bearing, ball bearing in there and at the top here. So we're gonna have to cut it somewhere around here to tack weld those two together. But basically now we have something spinning here, spinning on top there, and that's gonna be connected to the power steering. So it's a solid shaft, and boom, the puzzle that was so hard to do last week is getting together. And honestly, that one so far is the hardest thing I've done on the Datsun. It's the hardest thing we have done yet on that car. It's really insane. Honestly, I can't tell you how big of a deal this is, because basically if this is broken, if there's anything in there that is not welded properly, that means no more freaking steering wheel. Imagine you're just on the highway, there's 3 lanes, you're in the middle like a casual peasant out there, and all of a sudden you're doing a 120 or let's say 60 miles per hour for the US friend on the cruise control, and you start turning and there's nothing. And now you have to brake, you have to like try to go somewhere without being in danger. Yeah, but I mean, like, you have to get at, this is why we are overthinking everything in there on that little thing. That's the only part that's gonna be really custom made on my side on the entire steering assembly. So, and it's not like I'm a professional, so basically I'm making sure, like double checking, triple checking everything, overthinking everything, and that's why it was such a crazy weird stream last Thursday when I was just like just like trying to not go mental breakdown on overthinking everything. But basically now everything's working and we're gonna weld it like so bad, like it's gonna be so intense, the welding going through here in the middle where we just tack welded a few minutes ago, that like I won't be stressed. I will be in full confidence with that, and I might even go ahead and add a bolt through there, just being like a safety pin if you want. So it's gonna work. Only last thing we need to do is make sure that this is not going too far inside the car or too far from the power steering unit. So I'm gonna do that right now. It's not going to take long, so I won't place the camera and everything in there. That's gonna be for probably a little bit later. Ooh. I don't even have the grommet there. That's just perfect. We're gonna be able to slip that at the back and everything. That's gonna be awesome. Cool. Cool. So there we go. There we go. So for that, I'm gonna be removing that. We're gonna be removing it one last time there to cut. So we're unpinning the C-clip all over again. That's part of the game. I said it plenty of time, but tuning is basically getting everything in and out like so many times. We're gonna do that. We're gonna cut that tube here. We're gonna weld the shit out of that rod right there and let it cool down. And in the meantime, yeah, we're gonna cut the tube, cut the plastic tab there. We're gonna reassemble everything, and then we're gonna tack weld it all around. Basically, those two solid tubes that are not turning, so the one I'm holding right now, they don't have to be welded like crazy. You don't want to put too much heat through them, so we're just going to tack weld them, making sure everything is fine and holding together without spinning freely, but everything's gonna be good. I'm gonna re-grease the bearing, and finally we're gonna have the last little part on top to add right at the end here that is going inside the car and clipping with the power steering. So quite a lot of things to do. Let's do it right freaking now. Dual side. So, once again, going through that, we're gonna be releasing the spring here. So just have to take care so everything's not going crazy, but this is the good way to do it. If it wants to go, there you go, boom. So that, I'm gonna still need that plier there for this clip to come on top of those threads. There you go. Put that aside, somewhere around here. Release everything on the spring, and then everything should come out. Yeah. Now, time to weld everything in here together. That can basically become one piece right there. So it was spinning well. I wasn't feeling anything weird in there. So basically we're gonna weld that. This should be able to come out, but just in case, I'm gonna keep it in there for now. So yeah, let's move to the little improvised workbench and start welding that. So it's gonna have time to cool down, and then we're gonna move back to putting that all together. So let's go. Front cam. Boom. Back to here. Honestly, this is going faster than I was expecting today. Like, I thought so that we will have a bit of a hard time putting everything together, but so far so good. Let's keep it this way. So we're gonna start on this side. One thing I have to keep in mind is that I will want to weld on one side, then spin it, then start welding, and I have to keep in mind it could bend a little bit just due to the amount of heat we're gonna put through there. So that's something I'm gonna have to keep in mind, but there's not really anything I can do against it. So that's gonna be the hard part. Basically, nailed it. Basically, we're gonna be hoping for the best on this one. Like, even if it's bent a little bit, because that's pretty sure it's not perfect right now, right? There's no way I just managed to make a perfectly straight rod right there. So it's really no big deal as long as it's not gripping inside the bearing carrier there. So far so good. Let's keep going. And now we're gonna put a little bit more wires through the welder, just because we're gonna need plenty of it. And we want it to be super duper strong. Dual side. Dual side. There we go. I'm gonna try to bring you even closer than that. Watch out! There you go. Seems pretty good. Yeah, so we're gonna be welding on top here. So basically, idea right there, pretty simple. We're gonna move along the edge on this side first, then we're gonna connect everything at the bottom there. So it should be pretty straightforward. Shouldn't be a big deal, but yeah, still quite a lot of job. I'm just going to make sure also that everything is tight properly in the nozzle here, just because I don't want anything to trouble the welding. This is the most important welds of all the assembly. So this is the one that needs to hold forever. So let's do it. And see now the ring there just melted, so that's really not bad, because basically I'm gonna be able to weld it to the rod itself with everything staying in place. So let's do it. I'm gonna start around this side there and then move. Let me just move the cable of the webcam. So yeah, so I'm gonna start basically on this side here, blending those two together since we have a gap. Then I'm gonna bring it and connect it to the weld I just did. So yeah. There we go. Then I'm gonna spin it because I want to make sure the heat is going through on both sides. Just making sure everything stays together. And as you can see, I also started where I didn't had any basically spot welds to hold it together. So everything should still be in place. Let me just try to, my God, it's not wanting to. All right, there you go. There you go. Pretty light. Yeah. Probably quite intense. That's a lot of welding, but it seems pretty good. Let's do this one right there. Here we go. Just feel the hole that was in there. So this side seems better than the previous one. So I'm gonna keep going with the same idea right here. The gap is bigger on this side, so let's do that one right there. So I'm gonna go and really plug all together. It seems to work really, really well on the other side. So let's do that right now. The bench is burning now. All right, I have something bad happening in here. Let's just remove that, remove this. Boom. Before doing the little opening in the middle there, I'm gonna go on the other side and finish that up right here. So far it seems pretty good. I don't think it's gonna move anywhere. But we also have to re-weld the bottom edge here that we did before. We cut through that. All right, it's not holding together. There you go. Sending it. Quite thick. All right, I'm gonna plug the top there. I'm gonna cut it so my first spot is really down at the bottom. There we go. And now that middle section there, I don't think anything's gonna go anywhere on that. That's quite a lot of welding with quite a lot of material, which is awesome. All right, let's go. One pass, second pass on the other side. And I think we're gonna be done. Probably gonna have to sand it a little bit, just making sure it's not preventing anything from getting out. But overall, shouldn't be too bad. There you go. Gonna try to make it shinier, just to see if we are missing a spot. So let me grab the brush. Oh, we already had one on the bench, improvised bench. It seems like somewhere it's still weak, we're gonna be making sure to re-weld that even better and stronger. It's so hot, there's even some sparks a little bit. I will need to look what that means when a weld is starting to get oily like this. It's maybe that I'm putting a little bit too much gas through that, so yeah, we'll need to take a look at it. Overall, seems really, really good. Like, I don't see any big gap, everything seems blended together. Some places like here are maybe going a little bit too much on the top, but nothing to worry about. So yeah, and that window we just did is just gorgeous. That one here, really, really good. Like, look at it. It's perfectly the shape of the cylinder there. Please focus. Yeah, it's perfectly the shape. Like, it's not even bumpy or anything, and it's sitting right on top there, so you know it had a lot of penetration on that. Well, seems like this part is done. Let's go. So this is the one, like I said, this is the welds that is the most important in the entire system. But honestly, having that welded all around here with a really, really large bead, and even having in here a few spot welds plus a window going vertically, that's giving a lot of strength through the entire structure there. Like, this structural part, it's really, really good. The second biggest weld we're gonna have to do is gonna be this end right here, basically. Let me try to show you. But yeah, this one here, that's gonna be another big one. We just have a 2 inches rod to put in there to connect that to the Fiat steering part. All right, it's quite smoky in here, so I'm gonna just open up the door a little bit. Front cam. Front cam. There you go. He didn't understand the right one. I'm just going to do that a little bit. And put a fan. So sorry, there's gonna be a bit of noise, but I need that if I don't want to suffocate in here. So I'm just gonna put the first speed. Should be plenty. Just to help me a little bit. A little bit. Nice and hazy, yeah. I mean, it's looking cool, just a little bit hard to breathe in here. Probably not the best thing for health. Like, you know, probably something OSHA could give me a fine for. All right, I won't touch that with my bare hands. That will be quite stupid on my side. So what we're gonna do now, Like I said, this one, we're not going to throw as much weld on that because that's not structural, that's just making sure everything's sitting in place. So basically I'm gonna cut that around here, just so I have quite a lot of space between the bottom here and that bearing on top here. So that bearing on top, if it's getting too hot, it could stop spinning, and this is really not what we want. So yeah, so we're gonna cut it pretty far from its origin, and just have to keep in mind the more we cut, the less material we have in here. So we're really gonna try to go into a in between here, cut that through there, and just then tack weld it. So it's not even going to be super strong. I will put minimal heat required for that, and we're gonna try to just make it work in place. That also means I'm gonna have to cut that plastic sleeve on top, and it's probably going to get burnt while welding, but that's okay. We're okay with that. It's just because, I mean, we just need it to center that piece there. So even if it's burning afterward, it's no big deal. Really no big deal. I just had my pen in my hand and just put it away. It's still on the bench. I'm gonna put a little white dot on white plastic, hoping we're still going to see that when I do this. And yes, we do. So we know now where we are sitting in there. So let's go. Gonna be able to cut everything together. All right, that. Whee! That and that. Dual side. During fall, when it's windy in here, it might happen that some leaves are getting inside the garage, and I think they just did. I see a bunch of them now all over the place. That happens quite a lot, so at some point we're gonna have to close that the door again, but yeah, so far so good. So there, I said we're gonna have to do that. I could remove it from that thing though, so let's do it first. Don't need that to be clamped down. Pom, 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 pom. Hey, honestly, with the time it is now, we could be pretty much done with that house shaft in not so long. Like I said, we still need to weld one thing, so maybe not today, because that thing's gonna be quite a pain in the ass to do, I think, but shouldn't be too bad at the same time. So there you go. There. Back on the bench, I just removed the plate from it, so we're gonna be able to clamp it here, and we're gonna cut that. Loud noise. Oi, up there. voice. All right, so with that done, we're gonna be able to come back to here and start just trimming the edge there and making sure everything's looking good with no paint, ready to get welded. Front cam. Front cam. There we go. Gonna bring that back here because the action's probably going to start right there. Loud noise. All right, so now that means we should be able to put that here. I'm gonna have to remove a little bit more paint in there because basically that is sitting higher. So yep, I'm gonna do that right now. I removed the paint a little bit too much at the bottom. Might remove this one. Hey boo boo, I'm clocking out and heading home. Much love. I'll try to catch you when I'm safe and sound. Sounds good. Love you, Blue. Have a safe way back home and see you soon. Yeah, so we're gonna remove a little bit more paint in here. So let's go. Loud noise. It's pretty much removing all the paint at this point, but that's gonna make it, so might as well. So that, there you go. And basically we're gonna be welding that just stitching above the gap, like just stitching the gap to the sides. We have 3 full side there, so that's where we're gonna put that. That's still quite hot. We have done quite a lot of welding on that shaft right there, so it's still quite hot. But yeah, basically this is where it's sitting. So it's gonna be sitting on top there with all the bearing and stuff in place. So yeah, let's go, let's weld that together. First thing though, I'm gonna put a bit of grease in here, trying to grease that bearing again, just because it's not feeling that great, this one. The bottom one's not that bad, but the top one is a bit hard to reach. So I'm gonna try to put a little bit of grease at the bottom there just before closing everything in here. So yeah, let's do that. Front cam. I should have, if I remember correctly, I should have a greasing gun somewhere. But the main part to keep in mind is the somewhere. Where is it? I don't remember. I know I have one. And that could be the perfect way to put some bearing grease at the bottom there. It might be the oil back right here, but I don't think so. Nah, that's full of bottle. I don't see it on top here. No. Through the bottom there, no. Oh yeah, I just saw that. It's here. Easy. Or something I haven't used much lately, that's right there. So this is basically just a cartridge of oil in there, not oil but grease, bearing grease, used for tractors and stuff like that. So that's gonna be perfect for just a ball bearing like we have in there, and we're just gonna try to give it a little bit of love. So yeah, should be pretty easy. Dual side. For those who never saw that, basically you're just clamping that and you're pushing some pressure through the cylinder, and there you go. You have a little bit of grease, so I'm just gonna pour a bit here just to remove the old one that was on the surface, even though it was quite sealed. And then we're gonna push that against the bearing from here, and we should be able to push a little bit through. Just really trying to make sure we're gonna have a bit of grease in there. So that's gonna help it stay in good shape for a very, very long time. So there you go, that's a little bit there. And then I'm gonna wash again the top, press it against the edge, and try to push a bit of grease in the middle of the bearing. So that there will be the exact thing. In fact, that one I could wait a little bit till I'm done welding, but hey, let's just do it. There you go. There you go. Yep, I can see it go right through that. So I'm just pushing that in the cracks. Then we're gonna wash what's on top here. So there you go. And then one good thing to do, just going to do that. Should be quite good there. But one good thing to do after that is just to use your finger to go and spin the bearing so it's moving through it with no loads. So I'm gonna prepare this. There you go. So basically I'm gonna be moving through that, making sure, and there you go. And it's already feeling way better than it ever was in the last. Now it's spinning freely, so even with loads, it's gonna be good to go. Just gonna make sure we don't have too much on the side, because that's gonna be something that the weld's not gonna love, but there. Boom, that's gonna be good to go for a while. and it's something we should be able to put again on top if needed, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, at least for now that's gonna be done and we should be good for a while. The small details, you know. So there we go, and now there we go with that grease. Now we just need to weld. For welding, I think we're gonna go and try to clamp it on the bottom there with the clamp and use the clamp as a ground. So we're just gonna basically remove the paint on one little spot there so we can clamp it. And I'm thinking about painting it anyways in the end, so might just take the both end there and repaint it, so that should be good. For that, I'm just going to spin it a little bit so that's lining up, so I will have a better surface there. There we go. So basically I just lined up the hole with that, so I'm gonna have some really strong surface in between those, so it should be better. All right, let's go. Might have to do that to remove some paint in a few spots, because I just thought I'm gonna have to do that, then clamp it, tack weld this side, then turn around, do it, so yeah. Anyways, let's go. So I'm gonna do that here. Loud noise. All right, that should be good to go. Let's move the shaft further away, knowing that it might be still quite hot. And then do that, use the clamp that I throw at the end. Ow, that was my freaking leg. That was my foot, in fact. There you go. Like this, like so. And the idea is to clamp that right there with not a lot of strength on it, just so it's staying in place, like not doing what it just did. Like that, putting the ground on air, and then tack welding both sides there. So let's move you around here. Let's put you a little bit lower there. Let's move the cable right here. And you should be able to have quite a good show. There, where's my ground? Haven't bring it back, right? So where is it? Oh, it's on top there, let's go. Just gonna put that on the clamp, underneath, under there. And for the heat, on that, I think I'm gonna go with B. Like I said, I'm not looking for a lot of strong weld in there. I want to prevent putting too much heat at the top here. So I'm just gonna tack weld it, basically to hold it in place more than anything else. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with the B setting and just trying to manage the heat. So I'm just basically moving a drop of metal from the top here to the bottom there, and that's gonna lock it in place. So yeah, ready to go, guys. I am opening the gas, putting the gloves if I can find them. They are on the toolbox there. Turning on that, ready to go. So that. Ready, set, go. Pum, 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 pum. Wish me luck. Ah. The plastic is burning my nose. Oh, that smells bad. All right, let's try not to put too much heat on this side. This is still spinning, that's good. Okay, bye. Need to make sure I'm not crushing the bearing at the bottom there. The plastic burning, I just got a full breath of it and it was smelling so fucking bad. All right, second wave of welding, let's go. I'm gonna take a deep breath before and hold it. All right, there's no way this is going anywhere. Holding a breath was the good choice also, just saying. And one last side to do, to hold it well together on every corner there. So that should be the last big step. Well, not, but yeah, I understand what I meant by that, but yeah, let's go. All right, taking a breath and welding. There you go. Oh man, that was nasty. That first draft I got was nasty. Probably just aged by like 5 years. But hey, it's done, and I feel like I've managed the heat quite well on that one. That last one especially is really, really good looking. So, want to see that? Let's do this. Like this one's really, really good looking for a MIG weld. This is awesome. That first one, meh. Yeah, the first one is here. It's okay tier. There's a hole in the last spot I did and everything, but I mean, I'm not worried at all. And the bearing on top still spinning freely, so that's really, really good. So we're happy with that. So we're gonna be able to grease the bottom there, and everything is now stitched together. So we're gonna keep that in there. I'm gonna spin that clamp because I just realized inside the car it's gonna be easier to get access to that one on this side there. And basically everything's gonna drop right there like this. Awesome, right? This is going to be good. I'm gonna leave it there a few minutes of that, and I might just be throwing a bit of paint at it while it's hot, just cause the paint's gonna stitch better like this. Maybe try to cover that top there, or maybe I will just wait. I mean, I can always heat it back with a heat gun and it's gonna work just as good, even maybe better, doing a better finish, just because I don't want at the same time to be messing around. I want to tape that, take time to do it properly. So yeah, let's wait a little bit for that one. So is this still? That's still quite hot, damn. Because now, next step, we're gonna need to work the end of here, just making sure we're getting the exact shape we need. So that's another part of the theory I'm gonna apply to that, thinking 2 steps forward, if it has to break, well, you're not gonna have a lot of strength with anything in here if it has to break like this. So basically, like if you're welding it right flush to it, so we're gonna try to make just a groove in there that will hold from side to side our little rectangle piece of shaft there. So basically it couldn't twist on itself already there with no welds, then welding the shit out of it with way too much weld, just making sure everything's sitting to its place. So yeah, that's gonna be the idea. So first of all, I'm gonna grab a piece here just to make sure we have what it takes. Then we're gonna take a look to the Fiat 500 shaft to see if there's how long we need to use, because this is what I mean here. We're gonna make sure we're sitting flush in here in the center and just weld that together, but at the same time keep like a little edge through there, like preventing it from moving left to right or up and down already when just sitting it in there. Let me grab the Fiat 500 shaft. There you go. So this is where it's gonna be locked. We're gonna have to groove it at some point too. I'm gonna make sure we're not going too deep down there. So basically, if I'm just putting that inside here, that's a perfect fit, by the way. So we don't want to go like this because it needs to move well. So basically, we're probably going to be somewhere like this, so that we have the full range. We are just sitting flush at the output there, which is awesome. So let me grab a pencil and mark that properly. Then we're gonna be good to go. The pencil, I've thrown it on the side of the computer there. Pom, 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 pom. Honestly, with that shaft done right now, we're basically on the last piece we need to connect everything together and put a steering wheel. After that, we're gonna have another challenge that wasn't expected, but that is making sense, and that's gonna be adapting all the levers to be working in there. So, all right, let's try to do that all over again. So this is the minimal, this is like the minimal length to be sitting flush. Anything on top of that is gonna be what's coming to merge in there. So we're gonna have to first of all start by looking for the right tools to groove it properly, but I have my idea on that, so let's move and take a look. Front cam. So since on the part we're gonna have to plug that to, we have a centering hole there. We're probably going to use that. I'm gonna cut part of the rest of the tab that's in there to make it a little bit more flush, and then we're probably gonna use a drill bit like this to start making a hole right in the center. Then we're just gonna have to groove it to like notch it a little bit bigger and in a rectangle shape on one side. Let me think. Yep, we're gonna do that this way and this way. And then, yeah, so when we're gonna have a center hole there, we're gonna be able to pretty much put that, just groove it with the grinder, with the buffer, and then after that it should fit right there. So it's gonna be like a slot like this, and it's gonna go there, so it will be able to move up and down. We're gonna have to center that there, but at least it's gonna be holding on both sides. So if it was to twist because it's trying to break, well, both of the tallest side are going to be holding it in place. So that should be a really, really good way to do it. I'm pretty sure that's the best way I can do it. I've been thinking of it quite a lot, and honestly, we have thick material, we have everything in there that should help us hold it in place. So yeah, and we're gonna be able to throw like a crazy amount of weld in there just to hold it together. So pretty confident, to be fair, pretty confident. I'm not too worried about anything in there. And then we're gonna have to notch also one side of the D shape of the rod there, just because we need to clear the bolt, the locking bolt, that's gonna prevent it from being released, even though like there's virtually no place for it to get released without me taking the car apart, I think. But let's do it well, let's do it right, and everything's gonna be perfect. Cool. Now, for how long of that do we need? I think I'm gonna cut it with a 1-inch tab there, and then we're gonna be able to test everything inside the car when we're gonna be done and just plug it to its place. So basically I'm gonna leave more than I think I need in here, just to be sure that we're not running into problem. At least this one, if I'm cutting too short, you can tell I have quite a lot of place to do stuff all over again. So let's go with that. Let's go with this. I'm gonna be taking that here, taking the pen again, and we're gonna be just marking the little 1-inch we're gonna put in there. That's what she said. So 1 inch is right there. So we're just gonna be cutting that, and then we should have something easier to work with. Ready to go? Ready to go. Let's take that cam. Let's go to the workbench, because we start loving that vice grip, right? We've been using it since last week for quite a lot of things. Dual side. All right, so for this one, that's not going to be too complicated. I'm just going to, oh, there's so much stuff in there. Just going to hold it right in there and cut it straight. That's some really, really tough material, by the way, so can't wait to see how good or hard it's gonna be to just cut it. We're just gonna go slowly with the buffer and do that. So yeah, ready. Loud noise. Right, removing the ear protection, and then moving to grabbing the little piece on the ground. And in fact, I'm gonna be bringing even more things up here, I think, just because we should be good to start buffing and working on the half shaft inner side that we welded. Even though it's still hot, we should be able to just plug it in here and use that right there. Now it's fully mounted. Well, maybe I could use that also to help us keep it in place. Ooh, let's put a lot of string on it. Needs to stay in there. Well, boom. So we're gonna be working on the top section there, basically to put that little piece right in the center. So right now it's not there yet. It's not far, it's just not there. So but like I said, with the little centering hole in there, if you can see it, let me just show you. So basically we have a centering hole there. I'm just going to take a look with the drill bit I was about to use. If it's already fitting in there, it shouldn't be. Yeah, no, I just need to cut a little bit of this side there. Then we're gonna be able to try and play with that. Open a hole just a tiny bit further down there, then groove it and yeah, notch it and then slip that right in place right there. So that means I'm gonna have a little hallway holding that from spinning like this. You don't want to be edge to edge like this, because that's like kind of a weak point. Like the welding could hold, but if it was about to break, it will spin freely, right? If there's just a notch in that cylinder at the bottom there, that means even if the weld was trying to break, it will be held on both sides. And so technically that means it's gonna put less stress long term onto our welds. So that's a win-win. Like that's taking a few minutes to prepare that to basically prevent maybe failure further down the road. So let's go. Loud noise. All right, so as you can see right now I can put that right into even past the middle a little bit, so that's good. And now my drill bit should be, yep, being cleared there. So we're gonna try to just do a little driving hole on top there, just making sure we are pretty much okay with clearing everything. So I'm just going to remove that one, put that in here. I'm keeping my welding gloves just because basically I know it's still quite hot in there. So that shaft is really, really hot from the welding because we did some crazy welds. All right, so that's gonna be a tough one to try to keep straight, but we're not going too far down, so it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, let's put a little bit of lube. Let's hope for the best. Battery. I recatch that. Easy. Loud noise.
Caribou is looking for more power for the last 21 months. Oh God.
Let's go, my boy, Caribou! Oh God! 21 mois, papa! On est bientôt rendu sur Extra Life en plus, là. Oh! Let's go! Thank you so much, Ben, for that 21 months! That's crazy, my boy! Thank you so much. Damn, 21 months, that's so much money I made out of you, lol! No, just kidding, just kidding! Thank you, for real. Always being there. Oh, by the way, Ben, si t'as le temps un peu juste de jaser, t'as un peu. Yeah. Oh, just save the drill. Crazy Reflex, Spider-Man. I'm basically Spider-Man. Donc, si t'as le temps de jaser un petit peu, Ben, pour Extra Life, j'ai commencé à checker le site web. Le site web, ça marche. Je suis pas sûr que les vues vont passer, mais sur Reddit, ça disait que oui. Fait qu'on va devoir le checker. Ce que je pourrais faire, c'est un stream que genre... En fait, je peux faire le site web, mettre mon stream, puis toi, tu lances sur le site un stream par rapport tout ça, puis tu vois si tu reçois des vues qui ont l'air de matcher mon nom. Ah ouais, non, faut que ça soit par le site, right? On se met 3 à ouvrir le site, puis on check. Serais-tu pas pire? Parce qu'en gros, c'est ça. Fait qu'en gros, pendant que je stream, on pop le site puis on met genre, c'est ça. Mais non, ça marche pas. Parce qu'il faut essayer de faire en sorte qu'il y ait deux streams à 0 puis qu'on mette des vues que par le site web pour voir si les deux reçoivent. Right? En tout cas, we're gonna try something. Je t'aurais écrit, j'ai gossé là-dessus un matin, entre autres. Fait que je devrais avoir de quoi super. J'ai réussi à embed le stream, ça, tout. Fait que ça. Puis j'attends un peu à la dernière minute parce qu'après, je vais. Dernière minute, je vais l'essayer, mais genre, faut. Tu pars un live puis tu regardes au travers du site, ça te dit tout normalement. De quoi ça me dit tout? Tu sais, toi, tu pars un live, ah ouais, ok, tu dis si on regarde à travers le site un live de toi, exemple, puis que ça met une vue, puis que, mettons, je dis à Flo, puis toi, puis moi, on le met, puis t'as 3 vues, ça marche. En effet, good point. True. Easy peasy, gonna do that. Fait que ça va être ça l'idée, je pense. Fait que je te dis quand c'est fait, mais le site, honnêtement, il doit me rester à peu près 1 heure ou 2 à mettre dessus, puis ça va être GG well played, ready to go. Good? Ok, je me remets à driller. Tu venais pas à soir, hein, j'espère? Parce que à soir, je fais juste présenter le TP3. Là. Je sais qu'on s'est entendu pour jeudi prochain, mais je vais juste valider qu'à soir, tu prenais ta soirée off et relax. Loud noise. Ok, parfait. Good job. Trop de trucs à faire anyway. Qu'est-ce que t'as à faire? Là, ça doit achever. Oh. Extra Life, là, pense à tes challenges. OK, je peux m'adriler. Loud noise. Loud noise. Alright. La présentation pour les étudiants pas encore fini. Le mec a fait une V1 du layout, oui, mais il va manquer des passes à faire. Puis l'intérieur n'est pas fini. Après vendredi, samedi prend pas de samedi, il y a le centre de carrière que j'avais dit que j'allais venir. Oh! Oh, mais pourquoi tu te fais du mal? Non, fair. pour ça que j'essaie de pas trop te stresser avec Extra Life. Mais s'il y a quoi que ce soit, puis tout, il va falloir aussi qu'on se fasse une soirée semaine prochaine pour setter les streams de tout le monde. Fait que s'assurer que tout le monde a leur stream près de ça. Puis moi, il faut que je me fasse une liste de trucs à acheter en fin de semaine pour justement les Extra Life. On n'a pas acheté les sauces piquantes, je suppose. On en avait parlé, puis moi je l'ai pas fait. Fait que si tu l'as pas fait, personne ne l'a fait. Fait que je sais pas s'il est trop tard ou non. Mais sinon, on peut faire un peu comme l'an passé à la place, puis faire des croquettes de poulet avec ça. Sinon, je vais acheter des bean boozled ce soir ou en tout cas cette semaine for sure. Fait que it's starting, it's happening, it's happening. All right, guys, you can see that. This is pretty neat. So we have quite a deep hole in there. That's what she said. Wait, what? And basically we're gonna be notching that. So right now that should be, we're gonna be able to go with the biggest one. Yep, I should be able to use just one size bigger for that. For the hole for the drilling bits, just because I see that it hasn't expanded as much as I was planning it to do. So that means if I'm getting with that biggest one, the biggest one in here, yep, we should be just perfect to basically oversize the hole a little bit, not by too much. Is it twice the same? No, shouldn't be. Loud noise. That's pretty perfect. Pretty, please. All right, so that means if I'm just using the buffer to extend, like a little, I don't know how I would say that, like really a notch through the cylinder, I should be able to put that right in the center there, and we still have a pretty good mark for it. I had two choices. Either I go this way, or I go this way. And I'm feeling like this one should be the best, because I'm gonna still have some tall piece at the back there that's gonna be welding through it, so that should help a little bit more even there. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's do that. Let's start from there and just notch. Just notching from the hole and expanding like with just a few passes of the buffer. Maybe I should use a grinder at the end. J'ai dit, excusez, j'ai dit que voice pour la commande vocale, mais ça l'a pas pris. Alright, so what I was saying is basically that right now we have quite a deep hole in here. That's pretty good, to be fair. We're gonna be able to notch the center there, so basically the piece gonna fall right in place, gonna be held on both sides for a few millimeters, so that means it won't be able to twist like this, and then we're gonna be able to weld that right in place, making sure we are pretty much straight on top here. So I would say also I might not go with that one because that's a really small blade. I might use a buffing blade there just to help us get something quicker and better, I guess. So yeah, let's do that. So where's my buffing, my really thick pad? Let me try to find it. I think I have one right there that is pretty good. Not the thickest I have, but it's gonna be easier to be precise with that one. We're gonna have to play it really cool with that one. We don't wanna go too fast because otherwise that's gonna be not that great. That one I think is too big for that, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna grab the other one that's a bit to use, but should still do the job pretty well. All right. Let's grab this, let's grab that. There you go. Bam. Removing that base. And then going with that one. And finally that locking washer. There you go. From there we should be able to just go and pass it like that on top, so hopefully everything's gonna be fine. Let's try it. Loud noise. All right, so we can already see how good that's gonna be. That's gonna be a really good way to do it. I can basically slip that right in place, drop it on the ground. That's perfect. But yeah, basically I'm gonna be able to slip that right above the centering hole there and make sure everything is in place. We'll try to smash it in place just to see how it reacts. There you go. I'm gonna be able to try to adjust it perfectly. Oh, that one's not pretty happy with that one. So we're just going to remove it for now. Clean that, but the notch is working really well, so we just have to clean it up right now, and we're gonna be able to weld it, and it's holding in place really, really good. So that's awesome. So yeah, I'm just going to continue cleaning. There's a few bumps in there. We just want to make sure it's as flat as possible. And then, like I said, this way, the way we're doing it right now, I just drop it where, there. Basically, before even welding, I can twist that like that. If it was just stick together there, pressed, it will work. So this way, when I'm gonna be welding the shit out of it, it means it won't move at all and there's no stress on the weld themselves. So yeah, pretty much the best way I could think of doing that. So really happy with it. Let's go. Loud noise. All right, there's cups. I don't know what's going on. Cups are moving in front of the house. Not stopping here. Just saying there's not stopping. But there was a few cups. Police car passing really fast in front of my house right now. Weird. What a crazy place I live in, right? Okay, bye. All right, so right now it seems like it's harder to fit it. I don't know why. But it's still going to fit in there, I'm pretty sure. See, that's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna have to make sure I'm putting it as straight and as centered as possible, even if it's not sitting on one side. Like that seems pretty good. I feel like I'm still a little bit too much on this side, but that's gonna be a thing we're gonna have to measure like 3 or 4 times. Then we're gonna be able to weld that all together right in place. Pretty awesome. We can always try to maybe remove a bit more material on this side since we have a gap on this side. So that should help getting something better with a better gap and making sure that the weld's gonna be super strong. Alright, that's a bit of text there. Dans le fond, je dis, m'a leur faire un export et optime crash course. Ça va être bien long, ça va pas être bien long, à moins qu'ils aient des millions de questions. Est-ce qu'on leur présente le PDF merge et le premier layout aussi, ou tu fais ça aujourd'hui? Je vais passer quickly dessus. J'attendais d'avoir, le premier layout, vous me l'avez montré hier soir, tout ça, puis j'ai pas full matériel. Fait que aujourd'hui, je vais peut-être essayer. Je présente le TP3, c'est un cours de 2 heures, fait qu'1 1h40 en réalité, mais que je passe une première heure sur le TP3. Ouais, ok, il est sur Perforce, parfait. Je vais passer une heure sur le TP3, puis ensuite on va peut-être commencer à diviser des tâches. Je vais essayer de faire une liste un peu de ce que je vois dans les images de layout que tu m'as envoyées. Fait que, puis peut-être l'ouvrir avec eux, tout ça. Mais dans ce cas-là, ça se peut qu'on ait le temps, ça se peut qu'on n'ait pas le temps. Je peux pas rien te garantir. Fait que, à suivre. À suivre. All right, let's keep removing a bit of material. What time is it? I need to make sure I'm not going past. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to keep a bit of time there. Loud noise. All right, I don't think I'm gonna be able to have quite a lot of clearance there. I will need to buff the side on each side there. So I'm gonna try it a little bit. I don't want to go too far because that could be the part where you're starting to try to make it perfect and you're making it worse. So we're gonna try to stay in between that and making sure we are pretty good to go there. So this chef here is also starting to be, I can take it with my hand. So we're gonna be able to just smash the little piece on top there and just make a little try on the half shaft of the Fiat to see how it's going. So let's go. Loud noise. Loud noise. Alright, so let's try that for one last time. And we're gonna move to just testing that quickly. Oh, that's better. It's not centered perfectly, I think, but it's still way better. Let's try not to smash that. Easy. I didn't want to smash my hand on that. That's hot. So basically that front cam. Pum, 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 pum. So basically this is going right in there. And I'm gonna be able to cut it by quite a lot, I think. Oh no, smashing with the armor on top was not the greatest idea. It's not fitting in there anymore. Shit. So I'm gonna have to make sure I'm just cleaning that. Let's do that right away, because basically right now, that's not good. Loud noise. right, so now this should fit, maybe not, we'll see. So now try to cheat it a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure to bevel that little edge there a little bit more. Loud noise. What the heck? The half shaft just busy, not the half shaft, but the belt from the sander just decided to leave the chat. There you go. All right, let's do that all over again. Loud noise. Right, is it going to fit in? It is kinda, it's not going straight in there, but I knew it would, so not too bad. There you go. Hey, that's not bad. Might reduce that by just a touch, but yeah, there you go. So, oh yeah, no, we're gonna have to remove that, to reduce that by almost an inch, like 3/4 for sure. So, but yeah, the idea is right there. So this is what is going to be holding all the direction there. Let's go, easy. Easy, easy. So we're gonna be able to cut that a little bit. I'm gonna remove that. I feel like I'm talking loud right now. Yeah, all right. So basically we're gonna be able to cut that by like almost 3/4 of an inch, to be fair. Then we're gonna have to re-weld that at the bottom, because we did cut a little weld there trying to split the shaft, but it didn't work. So we're gonna have to re-weld that, making sure it's strong again. For that, we might want to remove this, so we might be buffing our welds we did earlier on top there, just making sure they are smoother, so we can remove that here. I mean, I could still be welding just like that too. We'll see, because I don't want to be reducing those welds that much, as long as they are going through that. They are not, so we're gonna have to anyway. So see, first problem there, the welds are a little bit too bumpy on some spot there, so we're gonna have to just smooth them out, making sure we are okay in here. So that should be good. But once this is done, we will be pretty much ready to go. Really happy with that. Actually, really happy with the afternoon in itself. Like, it's pretty good. So tomorrow we're gonna be measuring the center in here and welding that part there, but we're gonna be reducing it by like 3/4 of an inch. Maybe a little bit less, just because I can still push that on both sides, like it's not seated properly. So maybe more, 1/2 an inch, and better have a little bit more loose than anything, because I can still push it. I just want it to be sitting not like this, because that's gonna prevent any movement like that. I just want it to be sitting around maybe there, just going through a little bit. So we're gonna be working on that. Then we're gonna be marking the spot we need to make a notch in it, so we can lock it with well, notch it and then lock it with the bolt. All right, that. pretty cool. So let's try to smooth the welds on there first. So I'm gonna go back on the bench. We're gonna use our sanding pad we bought that was so awesome to just smooth that out. I'm gonna make sure the line is just good so that everything, if this is moving on top there, then we are good to go with the housing in itself. So pretty easy, like it's just logical at this point. So yeah, let's try to find our super awesome duper pad that is somewhere. Hee. I think it's right there. Is it? No, it's not. No. All right. If it's not in there, where is it going to be? Maybe I can just go ahead and use that grinding pad too. Like that will work pretty well also. Just feel like maybe the end result is not going to be as smooth though. So that's maybe the only reason I will go with something else. There, so I have to lock it around here. On that probably. Let's do that. Hup. Let's bring back the camera. I was about to do something else, but instead we're gonna finish with that. Just making sure everything is smooth. I'm gonna take a look at the engine at the same time. Just want to make sure it's not rusting right now. Nope, everything's looking great. All right, we love to see that. Sounds good. Phew, engine is still in really good shape. Almost coming to the point where we're gonna be reassembling that. And that's awesome. Right, I'm trying to find my awesome little sanding disc, but if we're not finding it, we're gonna go with, oh, it's right there. That one. Oh, that one is like the most awesome one. Paid $25 for a single disc, but it's working. I'm gonna put you up there probably. It's gonna be maybe easier to see, maybe not, but I hope it is going to be. Dual side. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna be sanding that, making everything flat, and then we're gonna be able to finalize the setup. Not today, but tomorrow for sure. Honestly, tomorrow we're done for the steering column. Then we're still we still need to fit those helicoil, removing like the inner tie rod, and then yeah, put helicoil to fit the Datsun tie rod in there. But once this is done, we're gonna be able to reassemble the entire front end, and that's awesome, because that means I can push the car outside of the garage after like almost 2 months locked in here. Just before the snow, so I can at least push it outside, clean everything up, and then we're gonna be able to move on to the engine, which is quite awesome, because once the engine's done, like a lot of the boxes in here are gonna be gone, a lot of the space gonna be available again, so that's gonna be really cool. Ear protection, and let's start sanding. I'm gonna bring another battery at the same time, because I know we're gonna need one, just because I feel like that one was starting to get low. Is it lagging on stream, that cam? Feels like it's a bit laggy, at least on the preview on my side. Hopefully everything was good. All right, so let's go and let's clean that up. Loud noise. Well, just one pass and it was gone, the battery. So I was right, let's go. Let's put the other one. Loud noise. sorry for the loud noise. This pad is reactivating the mic. Loud noise. Look at this. Look how good it looks. Like, I mean, except a few spots that are a bit dented, like it looks like one single metal piece when we know we had quite a huge gap in there, but it's just like the weld did its job perfectly. So I'm super happy with it. I won't even go further than that. We're just gonna proceed with that. So with that said, that means I can remove that, and therefore if I can remove that, that means now it's fitting on top of the housing it needs to go. Front cam. Front cam. Let me remove the ear protection so I'm not talking too loud. So from here, one single piece now, and that is moving right on top there, and we have something that's gonna be pretty awesome. So the shaft is there, everything's connected together. Here we're gonna have something quite good. We're gonna repaint that part here in black just to make everything looks neat. We're gonna put some grease in that part here. In fact, let me do that right away because I don't want to be forgetting about it, and it's not really restrictive for what we're doing right now. Like, we're done working on that pretty much, so let me just go ahead and push some grease on top there. Just going to open it up a little more. So basically the only reason I'm using that is that it's helping to push the grease right inside the bearing itself, so that when I'm gonna be moving it, instead of being only on top of the ball, it's gonna be pushed a little bit further down. There we go. So now it's pretty messy right now. Let's just do that. Let's just put that on top here again. But again, just going to move it all around here, pushing the excessive amount there. Taking a little piece of towel there and basically cleaning that up, and then we're going to move that around, so it should push that around all the balls into the bearing, and that means it should be really loose after that. Oh yeah. That's helping a lot. That top one just became so good after that, and it was almost grippy at the end of last week. So this is awesome. So that, and if I'm pushing that through here, boom. So now I'm not even forcing and it's turning, so that's perfect. So that means it won't be a big matter in there. I can tell you we did a pretty good job for making that straight. Like, I don't see it wobble at all. So it shouldn't be forcing inside the gear there. And it's just that bottom piece here that needs to be a little bit straighter. But so far, so good. I'm happy with that. So that we're gonna have to paint that. Honestly, Not promising anything. Maybe tonight I'm gonna paint it, because that will mean it's ready to just stay there. Oh, maybe I can do that right away. We could heat it up. It's 56. I need to go in like maximum 10 minutes, I will say. But like, we have time. Let's do that right now. Like, oh, that's hot. Like, there's nothing in here that we're gonna have to do that should be a problem, so might as well do it right away. I'm gonna grab some brake cleaner to just remove any bearing grease on the other side of the part there. I'm not going to put it right on it because I don't want it to be gripping onto, like going inside the bearing itself. I want to make sure I'm keeping that clean, even though there was plenty of dust in there. Just don't want to make it worse. There you go. Then I'm gonna go with probably that like this. So this way, this side is protected. Then grab the masking tape that was inside the car, I think. So I'm gonna be grabbing another piece here. Yeah, I have a roll that is almost done, but that should do the job. So we're gonna go with that one there and cover the top just to make sure, you know. We don't want that bearing to get stuck because we didn't protect it from some paint, right? That will suck. I was just missing a little bit there. So in fact, let me do that, because if there's an edge, there's a chance for it, for paint to get inside. So let's do that. That like this, like that. Then close the top. There you go. So this way, everything's protected. There won't be any paint inside there. And now I can just put that on top here. I can even cover the bottom just to make sure, you know, better be safe than sorry. Then we're gonna heat the shit out of it and spray some paint. There you go. If I'm pressing that there, let's go. That's perfect. That's just perfect. So I'm gonna be taking the trim clad professional high performance rust enamel, and we're gonna be heating the metal piece there, just making sure that it's not too cold to dry, because that sucks if the paint can't, like, not bake, but like if it cannot seize a little bit on the piece, it's like crazy hard to make it dry. Multitasking. Oh, the alarm saying, hey, you need to think to stop the stream. And I'm like, nope, we're painting in here. Like, doesn't need to be super warm, just like uncomfortable for the hand. I feel like this is where I get my best result. I thought I heard something. Hopefully no one is here. So I'm losing the earbuds now that I removed it. So we are almost through that. Oh, that's pretty good, to be fair. Not ideal that I touch it with my dirty hand, because that might put some material on there that won't be cool for it, for the paint, but hey, YOLO like they say, right? All right, let's go. Ready to paint that. So basically right there. You know, you put the right amount of heat when it's just slightly smoking without being too crazy. There you go. Are we done? Yup, I feel like that's a win. Just making sure the weld is well covered. There, boom. Solid black little piece here. Beep. So this way, this is going to be protected for a while, and that's gonna slip right inside here, ready to use. And tomorrow we are assembling the final parts on it. So on the little shaft there, basically we're gonna have to weld that part here, and we still have one top part here, but that one's gonna be the last piece. I already told you why. Basically it's because we need to put everything together before putting the top part that's gonna be connected to the power steering itself. Honestly, we might be removing the power steering tomorrow to trim the end of it just by a little, because basically it's locking, and it's pretty much it's doing exactly what I was showing you here. So on that one, see how it's going, like it can go through that. On the power steering, it's getting through there around like this, so we don't have a lot of place. Like we need to put something from the other side here, basically on a piece similar to that, and therefore we don't really have the place to push it. So if we were just trimming the end of the power steering unit by just a little, like a 1/4 inch, that will be perfectly good. Like it will make sure that it is lined up on the edge of the treads on the shafts there. So might be doing, I'm not a fan of that, just because basically what will be a untouched power steering unit except a bracket at the front will now become a bracket plus trimming the end if we want to replace the unit at some point. So I'm like, nah, not the greatest, but at the same time not the worst. So yeah, that's gonna be it, I think. Gonna leave that for drying overnight. Then tomorrow we're gonna be grabbing that and reassembling everything, making sure the center of the mount of the shaft is right in place, and we're gonna be able to play a little bit with that. So yeah, that's it. All right, guys, so that was an awesome 3 hours of work today. Really happy with it. I mean, could have done more if I was live this morning, but I wasn't because I had too much stuff to do. However, for now, everything's working great. Oh, we might be able to reuse. Okay, I just saw something. All right, so we're going to continue on that part for tomorrow for that half shaft. part 4 might be the last one for bolting everything together, and in the afternoon, if we're lucky, we're gonna go and jump onto the steering rack to add the new because I want to say it, the new tie rod in there, and if it's working, then power steering and steering direction setup is gonna be done. Almost. There's always something popping in my head. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys, tomorrow morning. That was awesome this afternoon. Thank you everyone for being here. I love you all. See ya. Bye.